I want to tell you about a conversation I had with Edward, my third husband, about 3 years before he died. We were sitting in the garden one evening and he asked me, quite out of nowhere, whether I knew exactly what we owned. Not in a general sense, in a specific, detailed, if something happened to me tomorrow sense. I thought I did. I was wrong. And over the following weeks, as we went through everything together, I discovered that there were significant parts of our financial picture that I had allowed Edward to carry entirely on his own, without ever properly understanding them myself. When he passed away 3 years later, that conversation and what came out of it made an enormous difference to what the years since have looked like. Today I want to talk about the 7 assets I believe every woman should have in place before she turns 65. Some of them are financial, one of them will surprise you, and one of them costs nothing at all. Come sit with me. My name is Victoria, and I am not a financial advisor. Everything I share here comes from my own experience, my own mistakes, and 7 decades of watching what financial security actually looks like up close. Please speak to a qualified professional before making any significant financial decisions. Now, the 7 assets. Asset 1, a home that is truly yours. I do not mean you must own property in order to retire well. I know that is not possible for everyone, and I am not saying it is a requirement. What I mean is that wherever you live in retirement, you need to know with clarity and certainty that it is stable, that you will not be asked to leave, that your housing is not dependent on circumstances that could change without warning. For some women, that means owning. For others, it means a long, secure tenancy. For others, it means an arrangement with family that has been discussed honestly and documented properly. Uncertainty about where you will live is one of the most corrosive forms of financial anxiety in later life. Remove it if you can, in whatever form that takes for your situation. Asset 2, a private savings cushion. I have spoken about this before, and I will say it again because I believe it deeply. Every woman should have money that is hers alone. Not the household savings, not the joint account. Something in her own name that she has built quietly and that exists regardless of what happens to any relationship or any other financial arrangement in her life. It does not need to be a large amount to begin with. It needs to exist, and it needs to grow consistently over time. The habit is more important than the figure. When I needed it, that account gave me something no amount of good intention from other people could have given me. It gave me options, and options, when everything else feels uncertain, are everything. Asset 3, a reliable income stream you did not build yourself. A pension, an annuity, an inheritance invested wisely. Something that sends money to you regularly without requiring your active effort to generate it. I was fortunate that Edward had arranged things carefully and that his estate, combined with my own savings, gave me a foundation of this kind. Not everyone has that, and I do not take it for granted for a single day. But if you are still in the years before 65 and this is not yet in place for you, it is worth making it a priority above almost anything else. A small, guaranteed income that arrives every month, regardless of what the markets are doing, or how you are feeling, or whether you are well enough to work, changes the texture of retirement in ways that are very difficult to describe until you have experienced both sides of it. Asset 4, knowledge of your own finances. This is the one I said most people overlook, and it is the one I came to last. I do not mean that you need to become a financial expert. I mean that you need to know with real clarity what you own, what you owe, what comes in, what goes out, what accounts exist in your name and what the passwords are, what happens to each asset when you die, and whether that is documented correctly. When Edward asked me that question in the garden, I realized I had been content to have a general sense of our financial life without a specific one. I knew we were comfortable. I did not know the details. And the details, when you are suddenly alone and making decisions under grief, matter enormously. Spend an afternoon this week, if you have not already, making a document. Write down every account, every asset, every regular payment, every policy. Put it somewhere safe. Tell someone you trust where it is. That document is an asset. It costs nothing to create, and it may be one of the most valuable things you leave for yourself. Asset 5. A relationship with a trustworthy advisor. Not a product, not an app. A human being who knows your situation, who you can telephone when something changes or something confuses you, and who you trust to tell you the truth rather than to sell you something. I lost 60,000 pounds in a bad investment at age 61 because I trusted someone I should not have trusted. I did not do my research. I was flattered by the attention and the apparent expertise, and I moved more quickly than I should have. Finding the right advisor takes time, and asking the right questions. But having someone in your corner who genuinely understands your financial picture and has your interests at heart is worth more than almost any individual investment. Do not rush it. Interview people. Ask how they are paid. Ask what happens to your money if their firm closes. Ask for references. Take your time. Asset 6. Something that generates small income passively. This does not need to be complicated or dramatic. A room in your home that can be let occasionally. A skill you can offer intermittently. An investment that pays a small dividend. A piece of writing or creative work that earns a modest amount over time. The point is not the amount. The point is the feeling it gives you to know that money can come to you in more than one way. That you are not entirely dependent on a single source. That feeling, modest and quiet as it is, does something important for confidence. It reminds you that you are still a person with something to offer, that your economic life did not simply stop when you stopped working full-time. Asset 7. A clear and updated will. This is the one people put off the longest. I understand why. It requires thinking about things that are uncomfortable to think about. It requires making decisions about people and about possessions and about what you actually want to happen after you are gone. But I want to tell you something I have come to believe very strongly. Writing your will is not an act of morbidity. It is an act of love and clarity. It is how you ensure that the people and the causes that matter to you are protected rather than left to the assumptions and conflicts of whoever is still standing. My own will reflects decisions that some of my children do not yet know about. That is my right. And having those decisions documented, witnessed, and legally sound gives me a peace that is very difficult to put into words. If yours is out of date, or if you do not yet have one, please make this the year you sort it. It is one of the quietest and most powerful things you can do for yourself and for the people you love. 7 assets: a stable home, a private savings cushion, a reliable income stream, knowledge of your own finances, a trustworthy advisor, something that generates small passive income, and a clear, updated will. None of them require you to be wealthy to begin with. All of them compound over time, and together they build something that I can only describe as a feeling of groundedness, of knowing that whatever happens, you have given yourself the best possible foundation. You deserve that foundation. Start building it today in whatever small way is available to you. I am not a financial advisor. Please speak to a qualified professional before making any significant decisions. But please also trust your own intelligence and your own instincts. They have carried you this far. I upload every evening. If you are not yet here for that, the subscribe button is just below. I would very much like you to join me. Take care of yourself today. Come sit with me.